Croeso, welcome. I am Llewellyn ap Morgan, Lord of Magor. You may think I am a knight, with my armor, my weapons, my heraldic colors, but that is not so. I am a lord, but not a knight. You see, a knight, he is a warrior that the English king has taken and has dubbed with his sword upon his shoulders to make him a knight. And the knight will swear fealty to the king. He will swear to honor and obey him. Well, I am afraid there are very few Welsh knights. I fear that we are not perhaps in the king's good books at present. We are not in his favor, and particularly at the present, but I will tell more of that soon. But such things do not matter to me. I do not cry out at the injustice because the king does not look upon me with favor. For you see, I am a nobleman. I am descended from the lords of St. Genydd and St. Clair and the princes of Deheubarth. What care I to be called sir by the English king when the blood of princes runs in my veins? I am the guardian of my people, their sword and shield, and their lord in both war and peace. Now, even though I am not a knight, my education has been the same as any knight of England. I have learned all of the important things to be a nobleman and a knight. I learned how to ride and hunt, great practice for the arts of war. I learned how to fight, how to swing sword and axe, and how to guide my lance, the great spear that is used on horseback to throw your enemy to the ground. And I learned how to bear the weight and the heat of my armor in battle, to become strong in all things. I learned how to be a good Christian, and I learned how to be a chivalric lord. Chivalry is part of the training of all knights and nobles. Chivalry is our most important duty. We must protect the poor and innocent. We must be honest, and we must uphold the law. We must only fight for a good cause in a just war. This, in truth, is what being a knight or lord is about. You do not have to be a knight to be chivalrous, though. All of you should act with courage and honesty. Stand up for that which is right and protect those who are weaker than you. I have also learned how to manage great castles and manors such as this, for I grew up in such places, and I knew that they would become mine in the future, and indeed that has become so. I also learned something of the more mannerly arts. What are they? Well, I learned how to dress well, and how to address, that is, talk to different types of people. Those below me, the less important, and those above me, the more important. There are one or two of those. I learned how to behave in polite company, how to eat and drink without spilling food everywhere, or belching at the table. Etiquette is what these things are called. How to sing and play a musical instrument, even how to write poetry. Little enough time, I fear, there has been for such things recently. Truth be told, it is the practice of wearing the armor and the wielding of a sword that has been of greater importance. Now, you must pay particular attention to me when I tell you that this is a great time of trouble. You will have no doubt heard of the king's injustice done to my lord Owain Glyndŵr. He is a great man who has held much land in Powys and is descended from the princes of Powys and Deheubarth. Indeed, it could be said that he and I are cousins. Well, despite him serving the king faithfully in both war and peace, the lies of his neighbour, Lord Grey, made the king believe that Owain Glyndŵr was a traitor. Now you see, Lord Grey, he wanted Glyndŵr's lands. He wanted to take them for himself. The king would not listen to the truth, and Glyndŵr, fearing for his life and outraged by such treachery, has thrown off his allegiance to the king and has declared himself Prince of Wales. There is now war between him and the king. Glyndŵr marches south, and I, for one, will be joining him. Not just for the outrageous injustices done to him by the lies of Lord Grey, but because of the rebellion, the king has brought in many new laws that are aimed at punishing all Welsh people, whether they have done him wrong or not. I cannot sit here while such outrage occurs. So soon, my men and I will march to join Glyndŵr's army. Now I have a task, a job for all of you. I want you to gather together and become experts. You see, although we have talked about knights and men in armor, there is a weapon that has become a great winner of battles, the war bow, or the longbow, as you might call it. It has been a great weapon upon all the battlefields of Europe. And you will see this fine weapon is most deadly in the hands of the Welsh. So it is important that you study this weapon. I do not want you to be shooting it, for that would be far too dangerous. But I want you to learn all about it. Try to find out, what is the bow made of? What are the arrows made of? Where do we get the materials to make the bow and the arrows? How hard is it to shoot the bow? How does the arrow fly straight and true? How far does the arrow fly? Are there any special laws to do with people practicing the bow? Think up lots more of questions and find the answers to them. You can all become experts. You never know. I might come and ask you for the answers to my questions sometime.